how are you going to actually create integrity in cyberspace? And I think the simple answer here is you actually create a public-private key identity pair like they use on Nostr, but then you have to actually inscribe it on the Bitcoin base layer with a transaction. So I determine Michael Saylor's public key is this on the Bitcoin base layer. I publish that to the world's most immutable database that's immortal, that's indestructible on a transaction that cannot be interdicted.
Michael Saylor, executive chairman of MicroStrategy, is unquestionably a brilliant mind and a great thinker in the business. Saylor is a fantastic speaker who can explain even the most complex topics in a simple and engaging style that can be easily understood by many, if not all, thanks to his broad knowledge of numerous disciplines of human endeavor and deep mastery of metaphors. In a recent interview with Michelle McCary of Kiko, Saylor discusses the extraordinary opportunities and equally extreme and terrible challenges that artificial intelligence poses to humanity. Saylor claims that we entered the commercial zone around a year ago, and ever since then, the possibilities have been limitless. Saylor acknowledges that there are a variety of prospects available to the human race as a result of computer systems simulating human intelligence processes. Saylor cites AI as an illustration of how businesses may utilize AI to accomplish activities that would often require thousands of personnel while saving money on their payroll. On the other hand, he observes that the threat is at least as large as the opportunities. Saylor first clarifies that while the first two generations of AI were simple enough for the average computer literate to understand, the third and current generation of AI would be more human than humans. Saylor thinks the results would be wholly devastating if the model's full potential were to be unleashed. The executive chairman of MicroStrategy believes that the gender, race, and political disparities we are currently experiencing are nothing compared to what these robots could accomplish with deep fakes and comparable AI developments. He discusses the issues and Bitcoin-related solutions in his Kiko interview, from which we are currently bringing you clips. Please finish the movie and switch on post alerts to receive updates when new videos are posted. I hope you enjoy the video.
The threat in cyberspace is I can spin up 100 million AI bots to take over Twitter or Nostr or Instagram or Facebook or Google, and they're more intelligent than I am, and they're more charismatic than I am, and they work harder than I do. And that means that I could use those to distort any kind of reality. If I want to be Katy Perry, I can create Katy Perry. I can create 100 million of Katy Perry's fans, and I can create
interesting choice, but yeah,
50,000 Katy Perry super fans. And it's all just a fictitious creation in AI land because the cost to create an entity has gone to zero, okay? So that's a threat because now the question is, can you trust anything unverified anywhere that you hear? In my personal experience, when I encountered toxicity on Twitter, 95% of the time, the toxic comments weren't coming from real human beings. They were coming from bots that were created by first-generation bot programs. So imagine the third-generation bot program, which is indistinguishable from a person with a PhD. So I could always tell the first-generation bots because they had bizarre names and they had like JPEG images, right, and they looked stupid. But the problem of third-generation bots is they won't be distinguishable by any human being. They will be more human than a human. The other day, there were probably 2,000 fake accounts that followed me on Twitter in one day, which means there's 750,000 fake people following me on Twitter every year. No, legit, I saw it. I literally saw in a matter of 1 hour, 1,500 bot accounts got scrubbed off my account in 1 hour. And they were bots. So we can no longer live with that status quo. So the issue is, how are you going to actually create integrity in cyberspace? And I think the simple answer here is you actually create a public-private key identity pair like they use on Nostr, but then you have to actually inscribe it on the Bitcoin base layer with a transaction. So I determine Michael Saylor's public key is this on the Bitcoin base layer. I publish that to the world's most immutable database that's immortal, that's indestructible on a transaction that cannot be interdicted. If I do that, I've got an orange check. It might cost me a quarter once in my life, but now you've got an immutable identity. If you tie that to your Twitter identity, now if someone wants to launch a billion Twitter bots, it's going to cost them a billion transactions, and that's going to be $1 billion. You end up with a cost to mount a billion repetition attack. But B, if you become a fake person, if you generate 10 million fake people, and I catch you in my screen and I block you, it costs you $1 or $10 or $100. So by conjoining or by combining the power of cryptography with the power of a decentralized crypto network like Bitcoin, I can bring cost and consequence into cyberspace. Okay, and I'll give you an example of cost and consequence in real space. Gravity and friction. And if I take away the gravity, you float away.
Yeah.
And if I take away the friction, you can't walk across the carpet. And so no machine can work in the universe without conservation, thermodynamics, gravitational laws, etc. No machine can work in cyberspace without the same thing. And so I think that the AIs have just taken us to the natural conclusion, which is cyberspace suffers from toxicity. And in the absence of a cost, of a thermodynamic cost to do something, you cannot trust the thing you see. And so it's inevitable that we're going to actually introduce this idea of cryptographic verification. And once I've done it, then I can digitally sign every document. And if this interview with you and I, we'll finish it. How do you post it to 10 different platforms and sign it? Because if you post it to Twitter, you might be able to sign it with a gold check.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you $1,000 a month and $12,000 a year to have a verification sitting in a centralized database at Twitter. And it won't work on Facebook, Google, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, iMessage, and Telegram, and Reddit. So if you wanted to have a universal authentication, you would create an orange check, and you would actually burn the orange check in the blockchain into Bitcoin's blockchain. You would publish it to Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and iMessage, and you would tell everybody, if you get a message from me or you see work of mine, it needs to be signed with this orange check identity. And if you did that, then you would have some defense when I spin up an AI, because my AI can copy you, copy me, and create 10,000 hours of interviews of the two of us, where you say anything I want you to say, and I say anything the robot master wants me to say, and it will look just as good or better than this interview.
Right.
And the issue is, how can I tell the difference between the fake and the real? And the answer is only with a cryptographic proof that's thermodynamically sound. MicroStrategy is working on a project in this area where we want to plug Bitcoin's security, the cryptographic security, into enterprise security of any corporation. And I know that Block has projects on decentralized identity where they're studying how you can blend cryptographic security in the modern world in a decentralized way that relies upon an open permissionless protocol like a Bitcoin. So I think there are a lot of people that are looking at this right now, and I think you'll see people focused on it a lot more over the next 24 to 36 months as they see the threat coming from the new AI bots. We're going to do it, and if someone copies us and they do it better, that's fine. And if no one does it, then we'll put out our version of it. And then I believe it's a good idea. And you just have to have that aha moment. Here's the moment. When your friends call you and say they were approached by you and they wired their life savings to invest in something, and you realize it's gone, and then you realize you were just spoofed or phished on a WhatsApp channel or whatever, and it makes you angry, you're going to think, I need a better way so that 50 times a week scammers and phishers and criminals don't impersonate me in cyberspace. I have 2 firms, and I'm sure I spend hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a year simply deleting impersonators and scammers in cyberspace.
Yeah.
And there's 100 a week. And every single week that goes by, someone says to me, oh yeah, I heard about this great trading idea. I'm like, that's not me. That's not me.
What do you think about Michael Saylor's assessment of the many dangers AI poses to humanity and how Bitcoin addresses those dangers? Please share your thoughts and views in the space provided below. Make sure you set on post alerts for more videos and subscribe to the channel if you liked this one. Thank you for watching.